Oh, what's going on? So I don't have the webcam on because I didn't feel like wearing a shirt today, and I wouldn't want to have to put you guys through that. So today we're going to be doing something pretty interesting. I actually really liked the idea of remaking FString. So in the Unreal Engine there is a class called FString, and you're probably wondering how that works. How can you just make an FString, right? What even happens when you make an FString? Does anyone know? I sure don't. But I have a basic idea. So today we're going to put together our own FString class, and I think it'll be pretty interesting. So, the first thing we're going to do is open up Visual Studio and make a new empty project in here. And I'm going to call mine Unreal String, because I kind of like that name, but you can call it whatever you like. And yeah, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is add an actual source file to compile out of. So just add a CPP file, we can call it source and go add. To do that, you right click source, add, new item, C++, and then go add. Alright. So for anyone interested in finding out like how how C++ actually works and like figuring out more about what's going on behind the scenes, if you think you know it all when it comes to C++ and stuff, this might be quite interesting to you. You'll probably learn a bunch of new concepts in this video that you, I'm guessing, didn't know about C++. So to make your own string class is actually a pretty interesting little thing to do. So by the end of this video, we should have a string class that works exactly like FString does in Unreal Engine. We should be able to say FString my name equals Ruben, and then use the string however we want. So let's get to work on making that class, and I'll tell you now, it's not actually going to be very easy. You have to understand that Unreal Engine was made over a period of maybe, I don't know, 20 years or something, I don't really know, but that gave them a lot of time to work on the FString library, and obviously I can't do all that work in a single video, it just wouldn't work. So we're going to do our best though. We'll add another source file, we're going to add a new class, and we're going to add a C++ class and call it FString. So we are literally remaking the FString class. Okay, sorry about my phone going off. Let's get started on this class. Shut up, phone. Damn it. Alright, there we go. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we need to do, right, is we need to make a constructor that is able to take a const char array. And I'll show you how this works. Because a lot of people watching this video might not even know how strings work in C++. And I didn't even know how they worked until quite recently. So, whenever you see const char, and FString actually uses const tchar, but I'm just going to use const char because I like that more. What we're saying here is this is a pointer that points to the first letter in the string, right? So say our string is Ruben. Well, this string is a pointer to R, right? And that's our string, and then it loops through and goes, okay, these are the letters, and then it ends with the escape character, which is that, and that's how it knows it got to the end of the string, right? You probably won't really understand what I'm saying here, but once we actually start making it, it'll become a little bit more obvious. We're also going to make another constructor that takes a FString as a argument, because you can do that in the Unreal Engine. If you have an FString, you can initialize another FString using that FString as an argument, right? So those are our constructor declarations. I kind of want to make one more, but I feel like it's kind of unnecessary. We won't make one more yet. We'll keep it empty for now. We're going to make some private members inside of our FString class. We're going to make a string length. We're going to make a string array to hold all of our string in. We're also going to hold a C string array. And the C string array works differently to the string array, by the way. C strings work a little bit differently to normal C++ strings. I'm going to say int string length, which is a function that returns a C string. Now, if this is all kind of a bit weird to you, that's perfectly fine. Honestly, it will, oh, sorry, it takes a C string. But, anyways, you'll actually understand how this works. Give it like 5 minutes and you'll be like, oh, I get it now. So we're going to implement, we'll start with this one here. So once we have this constructor, we should actually be able to make an FString. It should be that easy. The problem with making strings yourself, right, is that strings are actually a pretty complicated concept. They're a little more complicated than you might think, because when we make a string, you're going to have to allocate different memory sizes depending on how big or small a string is, right? Because you have to realize a char is a fixed size, right? But if we have a string that's 15 characters long, then that's 30 bytes or whatever. If we have a string that's 30 characters long, that'll be 60 bytes, right? And so it's not fixed size is the important thing. And so we have to dynamically allocate size based on how big the string is. Alright, so I've rambled on long enough. Let's get started. We're going to set the C array equal to null. And we're going to start off at an index of 0. You'll see why we do this. Index is used to loop, by the way. We're going to say that if the string passed in to our constructor is not null, so if they've actually initialized a string, if they've put something in there. Oh, also, null is not recognized yet. To get null, I believe that is defined in the windows.h library, and it is literally 0. So, as you can see, if you hover over it, it says define null 0, so it's just 0 anyway, but it looks a little bit nicer. We're going to set the string array equal to a new character array, so an array of characters is a string, and then we're going to set it to C string length, and then pass a string in there, and that's going to get the length of a string. Now, C string length is this function, and we haven't made that yet, but we'll make that in a second. So let's add a little comment. Populate, so we've made a string array, right? Now we're going to say populate string array until we reach null terminator, right? So we go through it and we say while the string does not have a null character like that, then add to our array and increment index each time. So we loop through a string, and then once we hit the index, then it will break out of this loop. Then finally, we set the length of our string, which is defined as string length, equal to index, and now we know how long our string is, which is very useful later on. If we didn't have this, we wouldn't be able to do string compares, inserts, things like that. String length is very, very important. Okay, and then the last thing to do is say, if we did not initialize our string yet, so if we didn't pass in anything, and that's fine if we don't pass anything in, set the length of the string equal to 0, set the array equal to be null, so there's nothing in there yet, and set the C array equal to null. And there we go. So we've just made our first constructor for our FString, right? Now, I should be able to actually initialize this. So let's go back to source.cpp. I'm going to add this line in here, system pause, which just pauses the program so that I can read it. Otherwise it would close instantly and I wouldn't be able to see what's happening. So let's try make an FString. We'll say FString my name equals Ruben. And we also have to include the FString library, so let's do that, FString. And there you go, we have our string. Now, we can't do anything with our string yet. We can't manipulate it, we can't do anything that we'd like to do. And that is because, for example, if I try to display it on the screen using cout, I get an error. Because since we've just made an FString, it doesn't know, cout, the stream, doesn't know what to do with my name, right? So we have to tell my name how to be sent to a stream. So let's do that. And we're going to use a stream operator overload. I know that's kind of a mouthful, but it's actually a pretty easy concept. we're going to use the friend keyword, which says that the private members of this class can be accessed from outside of the class. I'm going to say ostream, take the operator, and then takes a couple of arguments, the output stream, and then the if string itself, right? And when using const reference, and that prevents it from creating a copy of our if string, and that way it actually makes our function a little bit faster. Alright. I think Visual Studio screwed that up. Oh wait, yeah, let's go in here and then we'll add the library include IO stream, which actually means input output stream for anyone that didn't know, and that includes the definitions for input and output streams. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell output stream how to read our string, and it's actually really simple. We're going to make a for loop, and we're going to loop through, so while I is less than string.string length. Why can't we access string length? We should be able to. We got string. We cannot access string length. I'll just declare that for now, and then we can see what went wrong there in a second. And then send the string at I. So send the character at I, because output streams know how to send a single character, but they do not know how to send the full string. So we're just individually sending each character. It is inaccessible. Shouldn't be inaccessible because we did declare it as a friend. I'll just include IO stream in here as well. That might be the problem. There we go. That was just a small bug there. Okay. So now we should be able to run this program, and it should declare this if string called Ruben, or my name rather, and then it should send it to the screen. So let's run the program. And we got some sort of build error. Oh, okay, that's nothing big. So we tried to call this function earlier on, but it's not defined yet. Let's just declare this to be 100 right now. This will be different later on, but for now we'll just make it 100. So we'll make all strings be allocated a size of 100. That's bad practice. You shouldn't do that usually, but that'll work just to get the program running for now. So as you can see, it actually, I'll make the console a bit bigger here. Let's go to font, turn that up to like 20. And there you go, it says Ruben on the screen. So that's our program running nicely. And we've now made our own if strings. There is still a lot of progress we need to do though, because here's the thing, right? If strings don't really work right now. Let's declare another if string. I want to show you guys a wee problem with our if string so far. So let's make Ruben. In fact, we'll put RBN in here. And then let's make another if string called last name and set that equal to KUN, right? So we've got RBN KUN. Let's try and make another if string, right, called full name, and we'll set it equal to my name plus last name. And yet again, we get another error. We can't add these two if strings together. Even though we'd be able to do that in the Unreal Engine, we cannot do that with our own if string class. Why not? Well, the reason is, if string is a class we made ourselves, right? So C++ by default doesn't even know how to add two if strings together, right? So we have to tell C++ how to add two if strings together. And we're going to do that using operator overloading, which is a nice little concept. And it allows us to tell C++ how to add our if string class. So, and you'll see how that works in a second. So we're going to make a comment here, operator overloads, and we're going to declare a new operator. I'm going to use the equal operator, and then it's going to take one argument, which is RHS, which means right-hand side. We're also going to declare another operator, which is the plus operator. By the way, guys, you might be wondering why it's operator. Well, these things, plus, divided by, times, greater than, less than, things like that, they are called operators in C++. So all we're doing is making our own operators, right? We're changing the definition of equals, because there isn't a definition for it yet. So let's make these functions. And let's make the equals operator. So we're going to tell C++ how to actually add two FStrings together. Because it doesn't know that yet, right? We have to actually tell it to do it, since we made FStrings ourselves. So what we're going to do, the first thing we'll do is we'll just say, if this is equal to RHS. So if the current object is equal to what we're trying to add, just return this. So if we're trying to add something to itself, just return this, right? Delete the string array. Now what we're going to do is create a new string and populate it with the right-hand side. The right-hand side being, if we were to say my name plus last name or whatever. When we say right-hand side, we're talking about this, the right-hand side of the assignment, right? So we're going to say string array is equal to new char, and that's going to be the size of the right-hand side string length. And then we're going to make a for loop here and just loop through. And we're going to say that the string array at I is equal to the right-hand side of the string array at I. And then we want to set our new string length, so string length equal to the right-hand side string length. And then simply just return this. And that's it. We have now told C++ how to make one FString equal to another FString. So let's try this out. Let's make sure this works. Let's set last name equal to my name. And now, if we display last name should now display RBN. So what we did is we told C++ how to transfer RBN into this string here. Let's run it, and we should get RBN. Oh yeah. We haven't yet made this, so we'll just put that there for now. And there we go. So it's successfully transferred. The last thing I'm going to do in this video, because otherwise it's just going to drag on an absolute ton, is we're going to define the plus operator. So let's go to the definition of that. And right now we're just returning this. So let's tell our class how to add two strings together. And I'm kind of contemplating, depending on how much time we have left. I've been going for 18 minutes, so I won't show you guys how to make a substring function, but maybe we could do that in another video. So what we're going to do is we're going to allocate a character array with enough space for the string. We're going to say new string equals new char string length plus RHS, or right hand side, dot string length. Since we're adding two strings together, we're saying make a new character array with enough size for both strings that we're trying to add together, right? First, insert the current string into the new string. So we're going to say new string at I is equal to string array at I. So we've added the current string, and now we need to add the right hand side into the new string. So now insert RHS into the new string. So we're going to say entire 0, I is less than RHS.stringLength I++, and then new string at string length plus I is equal to RHS string array at I. Alright, okay, so the first thing we need to do is, so we've done all this, we've made a string, now we need to return it to the person. So we're going to say declare new FString to return and clean memory up. So we'll make a FString, we'll call it new FString. That's equal to a new FString, and we'll just pass no string in there. We're going to say no FString string length is equal to string length plus RHS.stringLength. There we go. And then delete the new string. Otherwise we would have a very nasty memory leak. And then finally just return the new FString. And now, that has told C++ how to add two strings together. So let's do that. Let's say FString full name equals my name plus last name. And then cout full name. Run that, and we should have rbn_kun. And we don't. We have an error. Damn it. What has happened here, ladies and gentlemen? Unresolved external. Feel like I just didn't make a function that I said I was going to make, and that's why it's doing it. This could be it here. Oh wait, that won't work. I want to just... I'm not sure if this is why it didn't work. But I'll just check really quickly, and if that's the case, then we can... Alright, oh, whoops. We'll just make that. I'll see if that'll run anyway. We'll try run it, and they'll... Yeah, okay, so that was the problem. We haven't made this constructor yet, the constructor that lets us pass in an FString. So let's do that really quickly, and that'll be the end of the tutorial, because I've gone on for way too long. You can see how this would get incredibly complicated, incredibly fast, and maybe you can begin to actually appreciate how complicated classes like the FString actually are. But let's just really quickly make this constructor. This one's really easy to do. We just say, C array is equal to null, allocate enough space, so string.stringLength, or FString it's called. Copy the given FString into the new FString object we're trying to create. So we'll say loop through, beginning at the string length -1, while I is greater than or equal to 0, and then decrement I. For some reason I've done that backwards in my original class, so we're going to do it backwards. And then we'll say FString.stringArray at the index of I, and then this should be FString as well. And that's all we need to do, and then set the string length equal to string.stringLength, and I keep spelling that wrong. There we go. Done. That's our constructor. Now we should be able to add these strings together. Pray to the Lords, and there we go. rbn_kun. So it successfully worked. Our little operator overload, this thing here, let us do it all. Now, I have a lot more stuff to show you guys. This has been a really short tutorial. This is the class that I wrote. As you can see, this is what we've got so far. This is the class I wrote with all the stuff in it. So there's definitely some more stuff that we can write. This is loosely based on some code I found online, so I'll link that in the description. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Maybe I'll do another one in the future where I show you guys how to implement things like a empty function that empties the string, and size, which gets the size of the string, and then find, which finds a string within the given string, and all this sort of stuff, all this different string manipulation type things. But anyways, I've rambled on for far too long. I kind of wanted to make this video just to give you guys some insight into how this all works, what's actually going on behind the scenes. But anyways, guys, see you in the next video.